When a hungry coyote appears, immediate action is taken. The coyote has had enough, and the otters are content to resume their own.
At a new burrow, the young badger meets his first serious challenge. To the cub, the hunting coyote is a real threat. The coyote seeks an opening for a killing hold, but instinctively sensing the danger, the cub defends itself fiercely. An injured leg could cost the coyote its life, making it unable to run down the swift prey it often hunts. It is extremely cautious. The battle ends. The young badger watches, exhausted, as the retreating coyote concedes him his place on the summer prairie.
As they begin their carefree romping about, not yet centering their activity on anything in particular, their mother picks up the scent of a formidable enemy who is new to this area, a big badger. He's a powerful and fearless fighter who must be approached with great care. This gives the parent coyotes an opportunity to teach their pups an important lesson: how to attack a dangerous and large predator. The object is to attack from the rear, keeping well away from the badger's fierce teeth. That's not easy, because even though outnumbered 6-1, this wary badger seems to be facing all the coyotes at once. The parent coyotes demonstrate the difficulty involved in trying to penetrate the badger's defense. Even if it's sometimes possible to catch the big badger off guard and successfully bite him, there's little effect. The dense fur and loose skin of the badger make almost any bite ineffective. With the otter a possible threat now, the badger knows he can defend himself better on dry ground. The parents have finished this lesson and leave the area, letting the badger go on his way, while they set out to hunt alone in the forest.
Ahead, much more dangerous game, a badger digging into a ground squirrel nest. This is an animal the pups must face with extreme caution. badger is a stubborn and courageous fighter. Sharp teeth and a vice-like bite could give a pup an injured leg that might eventually cost it its life, crippling it and making it unable to run with the pack. A bad injury would doom a pup to death by starvation. Still, they press the attack. The badger's thick fur and loose skin make it difficult for the wolves to get a secure hold. Surprisingly fast and strong, the badger is a dangerous infighter, but the pups persist in their attack with all the aggressiveness of adult wolves. The badger concedes the ground squirrel nest to the pups. They've won their battle with a deadly opponent.
He's a tough old bobcat who's more than a match for any animal living in this woodland habitat. This sloping log happens to be a favorite place of his. One of the coyote pups, however, has let his curiosity become too great. Once, the timid coyote's been wise. Not until they reach the river does the bobcat become satisfied that his territorial claim has been properly asserted. He now decides to return to the pond. Following much more slowly, the coyote stays doggedly on the trail, but he's too late. The lynx has made the kill, and though the coyote may still want to lay claim to the snowshoe hare, there's no possibility whatever of the lynx giving it up. The lynx, suspicious that the sly coyote will still try to steal his prey, keeps alert. His movement from the prey is observed. The badger takes advantage of the situation and moves in to steal the carcass while the retreat of the coyote holds the lynx's attention. Infuriated, the lynx nevertheless respects the fighting ability of the badger and will try to get his prey back without a fight if possible. The fury of the lynx is more than even the powerful badger cares to face again. The hunt has turned out to be successful. The big cat will now take his prize to his den.
Here, in this valley, his journey is ended. But now he must catch game or starve. The coyote is too fast. The hunger-weakened cougar soon tires, and the coyote escapes easily. But careless, he stops too soon. Again, the coyote's speed takes it quickly out of reach. The situation is desperately serious for the hungry cougar now. He must soon find prey he can catch. The chase after the coyote.
It was an aardwolf being tormented by a jackal. To frighten an enemy, the aardwolf bristles the hairs on his long mane. He's not a wolf, but more like a hyena. He's normally timid and no great fighter. But he's not afraid to stand up to a jackal.
Mother still hasn't returned, but the leopards have company. A young jackal sniffing around the den for scraps from the leopard's table. Again, the cub falls into the stalking posture. This one's alive, no doubt about it, alive and alert. Although the jackal is not a courageous animal, he's found he can stand up to the little cat. The cub has discovered, perhaps for the first time in his life, that some animals fight back. What's more, he enjoys it and makes a game out of it. Tiring of the game, the cub returns to the den. The jackal goes on looking for scraps, but stays alert, ready to run. For now, the cub contents himself with meat provided by Mother, and when she comes home, she immediately checks to see that her youngster is safe. When a leopard is eating, it tolerates no interference, not even from Mother. Now the jackal makes a move. Mother may take a cuffing from her cub, but she will defend him against all intruders.
But this one is not so reckless. The leopards are still too near. The danger is too great. The young male returns to claim the kill. His challenge is ignored. Mother watches tensely, but the young cub doesn't wait for her help. The young cub overpowers the jackal, but he lacks the experience to kill it. Now the other jackal sees its chance.
Badger is concentrating on the approach of a very big and dangerous wolverine. Even the wolverine, a fierce fighter himself, respects the ferocity of the badger. Against a single enemy, the badger usually prevails. But there are times, as the lynx witnesses now, when certain enemies will attack in unison, and the wolves of this valley are just such foes. Now the badger's very life depends on a skin so loose that his enemies will have difficulty in penetrating a vital area. The wolves, not realizing they are biting only loose skin, are convinced they are killing the badger. And the badger, adding to the deception, lets himself go limp as he awaits an opportunity to escape. With such dangerous enemies on hand, the young lynx wisely takes greater care to make sure he is not observed watching them. Just when it seems the badger cannot possibly survive the mauling the wolves are putting him through, the watching lynx is surprised when the badger gets away, a bit worse for wear.
Habitat becomes correspondingly scarce for many species of animals. This is particularly true in the case of the larger animals, which require more territory in which to range, such as the lynx and many of the animals which share its domain. Laws have been enacted which protect many of these animals, but in order for them to survive, they must have habitat in which to live.
The wolf follows a deer trail above, and the cougar tenses into a stalk. The cubs would have no chance against this hunter. The wolf will not return soon, but the chase has carried the yearling far from the two cubs. They've spotted an animal new to them, a white-tailed deer, a young doe. Buzzards for landing. The cougar has waited in ambush as the wolves approached its kill. Now, as the hungry wolves return, the big cat stands guard. It killed the mule deer soon after it passed near the wolves' rendezvous. Eating its fill, the cougar has remained near, unwilling to abandon its prize. The cat is fast and powerful, and its blows are deadly. But the wolves will not give up. Though the cougar attacks savagely, the wolf refuses to concede. The cougar is clearly the superior fighter, but like all great cats, it lacks endurance, and the wolf will not be driven off. Exhausted, the angry cat knows the battle must end. The carcass belongs to the wolves. Their persistence has overwhelmed the cougar. As the female claims the prize,